God is saying, find me somebody that I prepared, that I put my spirit in there. Now listen, he says he's not a perfect man, but he's a man after my own heart. I wish I was talking to somebody in here, maybe. I know some of y'all wait till you get your life together and join the ministry. Some of y'all waiting to get your life together to start singing. Some of you waiting to get your life together to start joining the church or to get yourself with God. But I come by and tell you, baby, you can never get yourself together unless God changes you. I wish I was talking to somebody here. Unless God works out your situation, unless God changes your marriage, unless God changes your job situation, it will not be changed. But is there anybody in this house that's willing to trust God?
Come on now. Take your time, Pastor. Take your time. Take your time now.
So he says, I'm going to tell you which one it is.
All right.
He goes through about 7 of them. I think it was 7, brother. How many was it? 7? 7.
8 of them all together.
Say with the 7 of them. It's good to have preachers that know the word. Thank you. Amen. That's right. Had about 7 of them. And Samuel said, wait a minute. I'm not hearing God say that any of these people are the one. What is going on? He says to Jesse, are you sure this is everybody?
Yeah.
Jesse said, well, I got one more that's out there tending the sheep.
All right.
And then Samuel said, well, we're not going to sit down and eat. See, Samuel was smart. Because if they would have ate first, they might have forgot all about it and went on and got drunk or something. But he said, we're not going to sit down and eat until you bring that boy in here. So now here comes David. He has sheep dug between his fingers. And he smells like the outside. And he's dirty and he's grimy. And here he comes in here, young and puny. And here, and God says, this is going to be my king. See, some of y'all missed out on some things because of how it looked. You missed out on some things because it didn't look like you wanted it to look. So you didn't miss out on some things because of how it looked. But I've come by to tell you that God saw something in David that his own daddy ain't seeing him. Because he was the forgotten son. He was the son that was out there tending the sheep. And we read further in the Bible about his accounts with his brothers were jealous of him, didn't they? Even like him. And sometimes you're going to be forgotten. But I've come by to tell you, if you're forgotten by man, you don't have to be concerned because you'll be remembered by God. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather be remembered by God and forgotten by man than to be remembered by man and forgotten by God. So he takes the oil and he anoints him to be king, and then he goes on about his business. But no one else knows. No one else knows he's a hidden king. And because of the circumstances, some of us are hidden kings. And because we're not in the palace yet, because we're still down in the fields and we're a mess. We're just dirty and grimy and everything. And people don't see the king in us, but God anointed you. But you're going to miss that right there. See, God, and some of y'all, God had already sent the prophet to speak into your life. Man, you just got to begin to believe what they already said. So he's there. And God will always make an opportunity to present himself. There's a man by the name of Goliath, and he is talking trash against God's people. And every one of God's people are afraid of him. And now here comes David. David now is going down and he's trying to see what's going on. And his brothers accusing him of trying to, be funny and make fun and everything. And he says, well, is there anybody who's going to stand against this guy? And everybody was afraid. So he got to Saul, the king, and they brought him here. And they said, we got somebody who wants to fight. And Saul looks at him and he says, well, wait a minute. How are you going to fight this big giant as small as you are? And God, he said something so profound. He said, the God that delivered me from the paw of the bear and of the lion is going to deliver this Philistine giant unto me today, this day. It's good to have a testimony. And I come by to tell you, if God delivered and healed you before, he'll deliver and heal you again. I wish I was talking to somebody in here. I don't know what giant you're up against. I don't know what is going on in your life that is trying to beat you down, make you want to give up, make you want to feel defeated. But the devil is a lie. If he did it once, he'll do it again. And so he gets there, and what Saul does is Saul puts on his armor. He wants to put his armor on David. Because see, early on in the chapters, if you read, Saul already took credit for killing an enemy that his son killed. The Bible said that his son Jonathan killed one of their enemies, and they said that Saul was the one that killed him. So he's used to taking credit. So what he does is he puts his armor on be thinking it's Saul the one fighting the battle. Am I making sense in here? See, some folks are trying to take the credit that God's been giving you, but don't worry, because God, they can't get that credit. And David said, wait a minute, this armor don't fit me. All I need is just what I got on. Just let me be. Just let me do it my way. Just let me do it the way God tells me to do. And he goes out there and he kills this giant. But it's so crazy because he kills this giant off of his talent. And even though David had a talent to write songs, even though David was talented to play, even though he was a great leader already in his own right, but those talents were not the one that God used to kill this giant. The talent that God used to kill this giant was his talent to throw rocks.
Amen.
Because he had the ability to throw rocks. God, I'm about to miss this thing in here. Because see, some of y'all are here thinking that because, you know, your talent's not as great as mine, or your talent's not as great as somebody else, that God ain't calling you. God will take the little foolish things that confound the wise. And I don't care what you got. I don't care if you got a talent to throw marbles. God can use that talent to destroy every giant that is in you. You don't miss what I'm saying. Every giant that's in your life. I know you want to go to the bishop. I know you want to go to the pastor, but use what God has put into you. His ability to throw rocks. God used that to destroy the giant that was not only torturing him, but torturing God's people.
Come
so
on.
He kills them. And everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Saul's happy. Until the women come.
All right.
Now, there's a lot there now. I'm trying to see what I'm going to pull for what I need to do. There's a lot there, but the women come. And every man, I'm talking to every man. There was a football player or a basketball player or a player or a soccer player or a player. It counted what the ladies said. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk. I know that they got all quiet. That's why I ain't preaching to y'all. It matters what the women say. And so now when the women make a song up and say that Saul has slain his thousands and David has slain his 10,000s, and now Saul's life now is just a mess. He's just a mess. He's just angry now because the women have accredited David to killing more people than Saul. Now I don't know about you, but 100,000 of people to kill, that's good. I mean, but it's crazy how the enemy can get into us. And then now remind you that he's already rejected. And so what he does is now, because of his jealousy, is that he goes and he tries to kill him. He tries to assassinate David 3 times. And the Bible says that a distressing spirit from the Lord came upon Saul. And then what happened was they called David in there because another gift, their gift will make room for you. He had a gift of playing the harp, so they called him in there. And every time he began to play, the demons would leave. But there's one time he played, and Saul said, I want to kill him. And he tries to pin him against the wall. And David escapes. And then he does something even more crazier than that. What he says is, he said, I'm going to give David one of my daughters. So he told David, if you could just kill these people, right? He said, I'm going to give you my daughter. David goes out there and kills them. And then he ends up giving the daughter to another man. And then he finds out, though, Saul finds out that he has another daughter by the name of Michal that loves David. The Bible says that she loved David. So what he says is, he sends his people, out his armor bearers, and say, go tell David that if you kill about 10,000 more, how many it was, bring their skins to me. He says that I'll give you my daughter. But the Bible says that he only did that in order to bring David down. It was a trap. He was ready to use his daughter to trap David. So what happens is David goes and he does it anyway because he has the Lord with him. And when he does it, he gives Michal to David, the wife. So now David is married to Saul's daughter. But David can't enjoy his marriage because he's on the run. Because his father-in-law is trying to kill him. So now he's on the run. He's going from stronghold to stronghold, to cave to cave. He's even sleeping in the enemy's camp now. He's all over the place trying to run for his life. And he finally gets the word that Saul died. Finally, Saul dies in battle. And not only him, but all of his sons died. And so now